Yo, what's going on, guys? Frankie Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. With that much being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, as far as earnings week goes, as you guys can see on the screen, it is completely empty. I believe there is one stock reported, and yes, there is. It is on the 23rd of this current week. I've never heard of the company before, but regardless, we have 0 tech companies reporting, 0 banks, 0 airlines, 0 of anything. So it's a pretty clear week. The only thing that I could expect for this coming week, it can either be choppy, it can be full of volume. The only thing to keep in mind that tomorrow, on Monday, on the 22nd at 9 a.m. Eastern, the U.S. government is pumping, I believe, around $6 to $7 billion into the market at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is going to be interesting. They're not going to do it all at once, I would assume. They're going to do it in chunks because I don't think you can pump that much money in that just certain time. I could always be wrong, but it just makes sense for them to kind of put that money into chunks as 9 a.m. starts. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and dive into watch list. So first things first, you guys know I like to talk about NQ and ES. If I type it, that is. There we go. So first things first on ES, both indexes are pretty straightforward. It's a pretty short watches today. Really not too much going on. Everything's pretty basic as far as fundamentals go and as far as levels. So on ES, first thing I'm watching is the bull flag at around 69.30. Now, the one thing that I do want to see on this is I do want to see a strong close above 6,900. We've only had that once, and then we actually ended up gapping down the day after. So I won't say gapping down, but pretty much engulfing the body of the candle plus more at that point. So for the meantime, I'm just going to be looking at 6,900 and then 6,930. After 6,930, I'm looking at 6,950 for the all-time high play on ES. Now, especially with that government news happening over here on Sunday, who knows if this will just make the market just jump, just because that could be a good thing, but could also be a bad thing. You know, knowing how the market is and how volatile things have been, it could favor the market either way. So who knows, right? So those are the levels I'll be watching on ES. No trend lines on that. Next up is NQ. If I go to NQ here, pretty much the same identical setup here. Only on NQ, I'll be looking at 25,800. After that, I'll be looking at 26,000, and then room all the way up to 26,400. We only have like roughly 2 weeks left of the year left as far as trading goes. So let's try to end it with a bang. As far as the market goes, who knows where this can end up happening. This could get back to all-time highs. This could just fall off the face of the planet. Who knows? My job is to execute with what's presented in front of me and to do so. So that's what I'm looking at for NQ. Now, as far as stock setups go, I only have 2, but they are 2 pretty good ones. One's pretty far, and the other one's pretty close. I'm sure you guys can guess what the second one is without me even mentioning it. First things first, though, I will cover Microsoft here. If I go to Microsoft here on the 4-hour, yes, this 490 to 500 area is pretty choppy. It is pretty chopped up because we have been in this area before. But you can see here on the daily or on the 4-hour, I like this on the 4-hour more, we have a really clean flat top at 494. Now, the thing with Microsoft is you can trade. I'm looking to either trade this at 494 or 495. It just depends where it opens up at for the day where the trade ends up happening. But for the overall basis of the setup, I will be looking at 494 as an entry with a target of 495. A dollar move on Microsoft is all I need, especially as a scalp trader. That is more than enough for me to want to catch on a stock like this that I don't normally trade, and on a stock where we have been ranging at for a while now, where there could be potentially more risk. So that's why I'm looking at just 494 with a target of 495 with a dollar target on that. So that's Microsoft. Last but not least is Tesla. Tesla looking absolutely banger as per usual. If I put this on the 1-hour, you guys can see we have a downtrend that breaks at around 486. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to play it right at 486. I don't like to play trend lines just because they're at any level. When I like to play trend lines, I like to play them with something of relevance. So for this example, I won't play Tesla at exactly 486, but I will play that at 490 as a sentimental play. Something that could co-align with this because, yes, it's only $4 away once we do break the trend, but to me at that point, it'll show me that Tesla's holding above the trend. There's momentum behind it, and if it's ahead of the market, it's even better for us. So that's why I'm looking at Tesla at 490, 491, 490 or 491 compared to 486 where the trend line ends up breaking. I'm usually use trend lines as a confirmation tool for my next for my actual setup that's coming up, and for this instance it'll be anything from 490 to 491 just to reemphasize that. So But there really isn't much else on Tesla. After that, I'm looking at 495 and then the all-time high at 496 and potentially 500. That is something that I'm sure most of us here at Stock Hours, or even everybody in the retail trading space, is waiting for on Tesla, is to get to that sweet 500 break by the end of this year. So who knows if we'll get it. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But that is about it for the watch list. Not too much, like I said. Microsoft and Tesla are the two best looking setups that I have as far as all the tech stocks that I look at and the ones that I just look at for the channel with you guys. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Before you go, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a fantastic rest of your week and a safe holidays. Peace out.